Hello my loves and welcome back to my hair channel. Today I have an exciting video for you because I'm bringing you some beautiful boho hairstyles that have been inspired by the spring season. Spring is in the air. I don't know about you, but I love spring. It is one of my favorite seasons of the year, probably spring and fall if I would have to say, because I love the transitional weather and the fashion, and I love that I can get a little bit more creative with my hair and do some really cool messy textured boho hairstyles. So if you're like me and you love boho hairstyles and braids and all things spring, then this video is for you.
For my first spring boho hairstyle, I'm gathering the hair around my crown and leaving out some hair in front to frame my face and give it more of a relaxed vibe. Then I'm separating this section into 3 strands and braiding a Dutch braid, which simply means I'm crossing each strand under the middle strand. I braid like this a few times and then randomly add in hair from the outside of the strands into the braid a couple of times until I get to about ear level. When I get to this point, I take about 2/3 of the loose hair and combine it with my braid and continue braiding a regular Dutch braid until I have a couple of inches left of loose hair at the bottom, at which point I tie off the braid and pull out the sides of the braid to loosen it up. I quickly wanted to mention that I am wearing my 240 gram set of fancy hair extensions in the shade Milk Chocolate Brown today, which is a little light for me at the moment because my hair still needs to fade a little more, but because of my balayage coloring, I can get away with it not being an exact match, which is awesome. Oh, and I'm not wearing the full set. I did omit the 4 1-clip wefts because I just find it easier to braid my hair without those little guys. Alright, next I'm splitting the remaining loose hair into 2 and throwing both sides over my shoulder. I'm taking a 2-inch section from one of the sides and weaving it through random holes within the braid. I really don't have a rhyme or reason for my technique, and to be honest, the best boho braids are pretty spontaneous in my opinion, so I'm just weaving it through and repeating the steps with the remaining loose hair on both sides. The only thing I am doing here is feeling the braid to make sure it feels balanced on both sides and making sure that the loose ends from each section always comes out from the back of the braid.
I'd like to love you every day. I'd like to love you.
Once I've weaved all the sections through the braid, I gather them together with the end of the braid and tie them together. On the last tie, I'm looping the ends through the elastic, wrapping the ends around the elastic to cover it up, and pinning it in place with a bobby pin or 2. And then I'm doing one more run over my braids just to make sure everything feels more or less balanced, and here I felt that the top of the braid needed a little bit more width, so I pulled it out a little more. Phew, it's not easy braiding on yourself. Had to take a little sippy break before the next one. The next braid is a beautiful stacked boho braid that looks? What are you, French, Niki? Get it together, girl! As I was saying, it looks super intricate, but is actually very easy to do. But first, you want to separate your hair into 5 sections. You want 2 sections in the front and then separate the remaining loose hair in the back horizontally. The top section should have a little less hair than the bottom section, and to be honest, I should have left a little more hair in the bottom section. Whoopsies! And then you want to split the bottom section again vertically in the middle. Braid each bottom section into a regular braid and then pull out on the sides of the braid to make it wider. We're going to fake a 6-stranded mermaid braid here by connecting these 2 braids using little butterfly clips. Now, normally I would use bobby pins, but because the butterfly clips are underneath the braid, and I'll also be stacking another braid on top of these 2 braids, they'll be completely covered up, and this method is much faster, I find. Okay, now that I've got my faux mermaid braid, I'm releasing the top section that's in the middle and braiding it into a fishtail braid. To braid a fishtail braid, you want to separate the working section into 2, take a small strand from the outside of one of the sections, cross it over the front, and combine it with the opposite section. Then do the same thing on the other side. Keep repeating these steps until you get to the end of the braid, and every 3 to 4 inches you want to stop and pull out on the sides of the braid to loosen it up. It's much easier to do this as you go along with fishtails than it is at the very end.
I'd like to love you, love you. like to love you.
Now that my fishtail is done, I'm lining up the ends of the two braids and being careful that the fishtail braid lies flat against the mermaid braid underneath, and then tying the ends together. You might have to tie the ends a little higher if your fishtail stops at a higher point like mine does, and then you want to tie everything together and remove the elastics that are keeping the other braids together, and use your finger to comb out the braids. To cover up the elastic, I'm taking a small strand of hair from the loose ends of the braid, wrapping it around the elastic and pinning it with a bobby pin or two. Okay, now for those two sections in the front. Remember those? Braid each section into a regular braid and then pull out the braids with your fingers. You don't need to braid all the way to the ends because the braid only needs to be long enough to reach the back of your head. Also, when you braid these braids, try to braid them away from your face so that they lay flat against your head when you pull them back. I also left out some hair in the front to frame my face, which is a common theme throughout this video, so should I even mention it anymore? I think I won't. You guys probably get the point. Now that I've got my two braids, I'm bringing them to the back and securing them with an elastic. I'm removing the original elastics that I used to secure each individual braid and unraveling the ends with my fingers. I'm also taking the time to pull out the part of the braids near the elastic since this part can get altered when tying them together. Once I've done that, I'm pulling the ends of this section through my stacked braids all the way to the underside and securing the loose ends under the braids with a butterfly clip or two. See what I mean when I said I should have left more hair for the bottom section? That would have made the faux 6-strand braid thicker and the fishtail braid thinner so that you could see the stacks better. Oh well, next time I guess I'm just gonna have to get a hair model to do this on. Okay, so if complicated braiding is not your thing, one of my favorite quick and easy boho hairstyles is this messy half-up style. All I did was gather my hair around my crown and tied it into a messy fan bun. I kept pulling out on the fan bun until it was super messy and then pinned down random sections to the top of my head with a couple of bobby pins. Then I took a section of hair about 1 inch in thickness on one side and braided it into a regular braid and then looped the ends of the braid through the elastic. I know not everyone likes this look of a looped braided end, but I think it makes a boho hairstyle look a little more interesting. So don't feel like you have to copy me completely, guys. I hope you look at my hairstyles as inspiration and don't feel like you have to copy my every step because, to be honest, half of the time I just make things up as I go. Okay, and then as you can see, I made the same braid on the other side. And that's my easy half-up boho style with very minimal braiding. For this next hairstyle, I'm braiding about 2/3 of my hair into a regular braid and then pulling out the sides of the braid to loosen it up.
I'd like to love you, love you. I'd like to love you, love you. If I may.
With the remaining loose hair, I'm separating it in half and tossing each half over my shoulders. I'm taking a 2-inch section of hair from both sides, twisting them upwards and weaving them through the braid. Then every time I bring the loose ends through the underside of the braid, I pick up more hair from both sides, incorporate it into the loose hair, twist them upwards, and weave them through the braid again. Now, originally, when I thought of this braid in my head, I thought this technique would work all the way down the braid, but as you can see, I had some hair left over. So I decided that I would take this remaining hair and wrap it around the braid in a crisscross type move, and then I gathered all of the loose ends together and tied them with an elastic at the bottom. See, I told you guys, the best braids are usually spontaneous. To cover up the elastic, I took a small piece of hair from the end of the braid, wrapped it around the elastic, and pinned it with a bobby pin or two.
I'd like to love you, love you.
This next boho hairstyle is another easy one. All I did was gather the top section of hair from ear to ear and began braiding a French fishtail braid, which is a fishtail braid that's attached to your head. To braid it is the same as a regular fishtail, except instead of taking a strand of hair from the outside of each section you're working with, you're going to take a strand of hair from the outside of each section and incorporate it into the braid. You only need to braid this French fishtail until you reach the nape of your neck, and then you want to gather the braid with any remaining loose hair and tie it together with an elastic. Then take a section of hair from the underside of the ponytail, wrap it around the elastic, and pin it in place with a bobby pin or two for a beautiful boho ponytail with a twist.
So that's all I have for you guys today, but before you go, I wanted to celebrate the oncoming of spring with my subscribers. So to do that, I'm doing a little giveaway. I'm giving away these 2 full-size products from Sol de Janeiro. If you guys watch me on Snapchat, you know how obsessed I am with the Brazilian Bum Bum Cream. It smells like tropical heaven. It makes your skin look so amazing. It's a very, very deep, nourishing body cream that you can use all over your body, and it has a little bit of a reflex in it, so it just makes your skin glow. Sol de Janeiro also came out with a brand new moisturizing shower gel. This is the Brazilian Foreplay shower cream gel in the scent pistachio caramel, and it also smells amazeballs. So I'm giving away these 2 full-size products to 1 lucky winner. These 2 products will make sure that you are a glowing freaking goddess just in time for spring. This giveaway is open internationally, and all you have to do is obviously be a subscriber of my channel and also follow me over on Snapchat and Instagram. In order for me to know that you entered this giveaway, please comment down below your Instagram and Snapchat handles. That way I can verify that you are following me over on both platforms, and then I will select a winner next week and announce the winner in the description box of this video 1 week from today, and I will also announce the winner on my Snapchat. So it's super, super easy. Follow me on Snapchat and Instagram, and you're entered to win the Sol de Janeiro giveaway. So I wish you guys the best of luck. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I love you so much, and I will see you in my next one.
I like to love you every day. I like to love you.